Welcome back, Gameyaaad family. Thank you again for joining us for another video. Now the highly anticipated Frank Worrell Trophy test match will get underway in a few days from now. It is scheduled to begin on the 25th of June. That is Wednesday of this week. Now, I would have previewed the West Indies squad already. So in this video, I will be looking on the Australian squad coming into this first test at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. Now, I think two massive news, would have come out of the Australian camp, and that would have been the injury of Steve Smith, and also the dropping of Marnus Labuschagne after that World Test Championship final. And we are going to get into the details of these changes. Now, as it relates to Steve Smith, as you know, Steve Smith would have attempted a catch of Temba Bavuma in that World Test Championship final, and he would have dislocated one of his fingers. In fact, it was news coming out of the Australian camp is that it was a compound dislocation, which means that the skin would have been broken. And so I think the good news about the injury is that no surgery will be required, and so it will take about 2 weeks to be healed. And I think you would have to wear a stint during that time in order for the finger to be stabilized and have enough time to heal. And so that healing process, that 2 weeks will end about on the second day of the second test match in Grenada. So presumably Steve Smith, I guess based on the, how the finger will feel at that time, presumably he may be available for the second test match in Grenada. And I think Steve Smith will be a massive miss for Australia. You know that he's their best batter, and he's a world-class player. And not only that, they will miss him in the slip card and also the leadership that he provides on the field. So it's not just his batting they will miss, but his overall performance as a player. He has that level of experience. He was one of the captains before Pat Cummins, and he's one of their best slip fielder. I mean, I know that they have some other good slip fielders. That Usman Khawaja is one of their good slip fielder, but you have Cameron Green and also Bo Webster who can field in the slip card. And so if it is that he will play in the second test match, I guess they would want to keep him away from the firing line. So I guess if he does play in the second test, I believe they would want to put him out on the boundary line, probably to hide him away from the firing line, so that the finger is not aggravated. Now, looking on to Marnus Labuschagne, I think Marnus and Steve Smith have been the bedrock of Australia's batting lineup for some years now. So with those two players, key players out, I think there may be a slight chance for West Indies to have a result in this game. I may be going over the limb. I know that some West Indian fan might believe I am delusional, but with those two out of the batting lineup, I think that would have disrupted the balance of the Australian batting lineup. Let us look on the reasons now why Labuschagne would have been out of the squad. As you know, he was, it was announced after the World Test Championship final. I think in that final. As you know, Marnus would have been under the microscope for some time now. In this last World Test Championship, he has had, a very poor outing. I think he would have made only 1 century in this last World Test Championship cycle, and he has been under the microscope for some time now in the Australian media. And let us look on Labuschagne prior to now. Labuschagne would have been the only Australian who would have played 53 consecutive test matches. And if you can go back to 2019 to about 2022, when Labuschagne was at his best, he would have averaged between that time about between 56 to 67. That's how good Labuschagne was at that time. If you can remember, Labuschagne got a chance in the team when Steve Smith would have been knocked down, by Jafra Archer, if you can remember that Ashes series. And when he came into the team, that is Labuschagne, he was churning out centuries after centuries, and since 2022 onward, he would have fall off since he has started to his run scoring has started to decline from that, from 2022 onward. And so, given the fact that he would have only made 17 and 22 in the World Test Championship final, and I think it is not the fact that he did not make runs, but I think it's the nature of how he would have gotten out. If you can remember, in that World Test Championship final, he would have nicked off to Marco Jansen in both innings, and I think he would have gotten start in both innings, and you thought that he would have carried on to something big, because he would have played through the new ball, and at that point you think he would have gotten in, so he would no need to just kick on from there, and then he was drawn outside the off stump and nicked off to the wicket keeper from Marco Jansen in both innings. So I think that would have I guess that was the last nail in the coffin for Marnus Labuschagne. So as I would have said before, he was subsequently dropped from the team, as he was named initially in the West Indies squad, but he was subsequently dropped from the team, and Sam Kansas would have would have replaced him, and also Josh Inglis would have replaced Steve Smith. Before I go on to look on the lineup, or the potential lineup, I think George Bailey would have made a very important point as it relates to Marnus Labuschagne, because a lot of people, I think the first question that will come into people's mind, our fans mind, is whether or not what will this drop means for Marnus Labuschagne Test career. So I think George Bailey is saying Marnus at his best is in the future of Australian Test cricket. So I think it may be a blessing in disguise for Marnus to get back to his best. I think he just need to go back to the drawing board, kind of have a little reset, and without selection over his head and so forth, he can go back into the nets and try to correct those those errors that he has currently in his batting, and I think he will come back stronger and bigger. You can remember Usman Khawaja. I think he came back in the Australian side when he was I think he came back in the 2021-2022 Ashes series, and he has never looked back from then. So I mean, being dropped from the team is not the end of the rope. It's just a time for you to just kind of reflect, and try to correct some of the errors that is currently affecting him from scoring runs, because we know that Marnus is a quality batter. We would have seen that over the years, and I think that this little time off now will give him the chance to really kind of reset and come back stronger. Now, looking on the opening, we know that Usman Khawaja and Sam Khan, because Sam Khan's preferred position is to open the batting, right? So you have Usman Khawaja and Sam Khan possibly opening the batting. Then number 3 and number 4 may be up in the air at this point. Number 5, I can't see George Bailey moving Travis Head from number 5, right? So I think the number 5 position is cemented there, unless there's something out of the norm. Number 6 would be Bo Webster, and number 7 would be the wicket keeper Alex Carey. So number 3 and 4. And for me, I think Cameron Green is at his best at number 4, and we would have seen him batted at number 4 in the New Zealand series, and also when West Indies would have played Australia the last time. And I think that's a position where Cameron Green is at his best, not at number 6, right? So I think he will get a chance to bat at number 4, I suspect. And then the only position that would be left would be that number 3 position, and I suspect that Josh Inglis may bat at number 3. Now, in terms of the bowling attack, I think the Australians, they have not said what they will do. I guess it will be close to the start of the game when they look on the pitch. I think the conditions and the matchup will affect how the Australian selectors will line up their bowler. So it may be a case where they will go with the 3 quicks and also 1 spinner, or they will go with 2 quicks and 2 spinners, because you know that Matt Coleman is also in the squad. So it's a matter of how conditions will favor the bowlers. As you know, I think the West Indies pitches, they have a tendency to deteriorate, as the match progresses. So it will be, very, very important in terms of very interesting in terms of what Australia will do, whether they will play with the 3 quicks and the 1 spinner, or they will go with 2 quicks and 2 spinners. Not sure, what they will do. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see how they will set up the bowling attack. Because you know that Bo Webster and Cameron Green will give some, support in the bowling aspect, and also Travis Head can bowl a few spin as well. So I think in my opinion, to be honest with you, I think the balance with Marnus and Steve Smith out, there may be a chance for West Indies. If West Indies can get 20 wickets in the match and also make over 300 runs in both innings, I think we are in for a chance in this first test. You can share your comment down in the comment section. I know many of you might be saying that Gameyaaad TV may be delusional, because a lot of people are saying that West Indies will not be able to win a match. The Australians will roll us over. But I think with the inclusion of Shea Hope and Brandon King in the West Indies lineup, it gives us a different kind of dynamics in terms of, I'm not sure how we will play, because I think these two batters, and with also John Campbell at the top, these are high risk takers, so it may be a chance where it might go against us or for us, depending on how those players play on the day. It will determine whether or not West Indies really have a chance in this first test. But I strongly believe that West Indies have a chance in this first test, given that those two players out kind of disrupt the balance of the Australian team. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell so that you can be notified whenever content would have been uploaded to the channel. Go down in the comment section and share with me what you think about what I would have said, and if you have any other thoughts, you may share it down in the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.
Belu, Belu, Belu.